The second is culture. The original culture of indigenous peoples is a major challenge to overcome. One of the factors that led to the decline of the quality of life of the indigenous peoples is the result of the attitude of indifference in education caused by environmental factors in their placement. Parents who do not have the educational experience expecting the same for their children, coupled with other geographical factors such as the distance of the location of the school and the placement where strengthened the reason for not sending their children to school. Third, infrastructure limitation. The lack of infrastructures such as electricity and water facilities causing many schools are not able to function to the maximum. The situation was not when the community boycott the few stereotype of Aboriginal communities has resulted in Aboriginal Malays feel entitled to enjoy the common facilities. The fourth is location or geography. The general location of the Orang Asli settlement are scattered in remote areas. Orang Asli Development Department reports show 31.7% of indigenous villages located in remote areas, 61.45% in the suburbs, and in the city of 1.38%. This illustrates why the life they left behind and left out of the process of modernization. The attrition factor in education is very significant with environmental factors. Capital expenditure by the government is still unable to meet the needs of indigenous people that are further inland. The geographical position they are located far inland as the main factors. They believe that their children have no interest in joining the formal education system in school, that eventually left Aboriginal children behind in their studies.
Next, I'll talk about education development program. Next, the Malaysian government and non-governmental organizations have introduced various programs for marginal communities, including the Orang Asli, such as first, program pembangunan masyarakat oleh Kementerian Kemajuan Luar Bandar dan Wilayah. The second one is Jabatan Kemajuan Orang Asli. Third is Scheme Pembangunan Kesejahteraan Rakyat. Fourth, program peningkatan pendapatan. Fifth, program pembangunan masyarakat setempat. Sixth, program bantuan rumah. And the last one is project perumahan rakyat miskin tegar. Next, Jabatan Kemajuan Orang Asli was established specifically to implement various programs involving indigenous people in line with Vision 2020 and the new economic policy. Every year, policies and guidelines for Aboriginal communities have been reviewed in order to propose a paradigm shift for their socio-economic and taking into consideration of their cultural value are not set aside Aboriginal ancestors. Therefore, the main goal of the program is to development of indigenous people to ensure harmony, comfort, and introduce them to other communities in Malaysia. Based on the strategy plan of Aboriginal development 2011 until 2015, there are two main sections highlighted, education section and mind development section. Both are intertwined. The exposing education starts at preschool up to the tertiary level, and thus career demands to support their life.
Next, Aboriginal education. The efforts shown by the UNICEF or the United Nations Children Fund for the collaboration with other countries around the world also has an impact too on the Aboriginal education. For example, in Malaysia, the Ministry of Education is working closely with UNICEF to address the issue of education among the minority. They are encouraged to create a learning environment that is attractive to attract and motivate Aboriginal children to continue their learning. Next. Next, GHEOA. The Ministry of Rural and Regional Development has entrusted the GHEOA to oversee the affairs of the Orang Asli. It is the responsibility of the GHEOA to ensure that the Orang Asli community comes into the mainstream of the national economic development. And the focus is to upgrade the quality of life of the Orang Asli community through educational program and other programs such as land development, economic and social development, resettlement, provision of infrastructure and other amenities, training and human development. Next. According to GHEOA, in 2000, the department ran a 3-tiered educational program. There are the first 3 years, children went to village school taught by GHEOA field staff, some Malay and some Orang Asli. Students who continue after 3 years went to Central Primary School in larger Orang Asli communities, where they could continue through Primary 6. Most of the teachers were Malays provided by MOE. Students who passed their exam at the end of 6th grade could go to normal government secondary school in nearby rural or urban areas. MOE is highly committed in providing education to all and in meeting the goal of equal opportunities in education for Orang Asli children as well.
This idea of educating the Orang Asli began to materialize in Malaysia. Other government agencies such as Ministry of Health, Department of Community Development, and Department of Social Welfare took some of love and distant interest. The implication of providing education for this community has drawn the attention of various non-governmental agencies and voluntary bodies such as Islamic Youth Management, Interfaith Religious Commission, Tabligh, and Malaysian Christian Association for Relief Malaysia. It's a new meaning in the life of Orang Asli when government agencies such as Kemas, MOE, and Department of Social Welfare incorporate with GHEOA to give community education support and facilities. The MOE has allocated quite a lot of money to implement adult education program for indigenous community in Malaysia. The main objective of this program is to eradicate illiteracy and poverty in this community. Its purpose is to brighten up the Orang Asli adults' life. The education for adults have drawn the attention of Kemas. And recently, they opened a lot of classes under the education for the well-being family program and literacy education program. Suggestion: measuring the quality of life for Aboriginal people is very minimalist. The value of life of indigenous people was measured based on the value that preserve the custom of the ancestor. UNESCO has introduced the Community Learning Center program as an alternative to providing educational opportunities to marginal groups. The establishment of the CLC approach is based on the needs and environment of indigenous people. CLC is expected to attract the interest and attention of Orang Asli's children to study without feeling alienated by infrastructure, provide as they can be in their home surroundings. This should be supported by the availability of source and technical resources, especially in the supplies of electricity generated by renewable energy sources. So the conclusion, any development program for Aboriginal life should be highlighted aspect of the basic needs such as education quality requirements. This is seen as the best approach as it takes into account the needs of those who wants to be woken and not solely on the interests of certain parties that exploiting the rights of indigenous peoples, which the quality of education and other basic needs is completed. The perfect quality life will be achieved accordingly. Thank you for listening our presentation. Have a good day.